Hello everybody, welcome to this afternoon class. Today we're gonna do some weight work and the lower body strengthening. We're gonna start with weights. So I got a pair of 2-pounders here, but you guys certainly don't have to do 2 pounds. And even if you don't have any weights at home, just grab whatever can have good grip for your hands, like a can of soup, can of beans, or any kind of thing that has some weight to it, but something that's not going to fall on your foot. And before even we start going into the weights, let's establish a good alignment of the body, how we want to handle it. I would like you guys all to be standing up in a neutral body position, what we call, with your rib cage on top of your hips, with your stomach muscles engaged and your upper back wide and strong. So your spine, it's very important to have a proper alignment whenever you work with weights or whenever you try to pick something up and lift up and carry on. So you always need to have your head on top of your spine, on top of your tailbone. So the back of your head is aligned with the last bone of the spine, with the tailbone. That promotes the correct position of your spine. Also, you do want to have your shoulders pulled down. Even though the weight may seem a little bit heavy, or whenever you start feeling like you're getting tired, the tendency for humans is to lift our shoulders up. So try to monitor yourself for that. And if anything, you want to try to keep pushing the shoulder bones down and back. Also, the other thing I need to tell you guys is the lower back curve, which has to be curving for all the humans. Some people have it more curved, some people have it less curved. Doesn't matter what. Your stomach should not be pulled in so the curve is negated. Your stomach has to be pulled up, if anything, not sucked up, but make it engaged rather than tense. You know what I mean? So the weight on your feet as well has to be even out. So try to make sure you're standing on both legs, not just on one, giving the preference to your favorite side. So having said all that, we ready. I trust we are. So I'm gonna grab those weights, my favorite color, green, and we're gonna start with the biceps. So bicep is the muscle right here in front of the body. It doesn't have to pop up necessarily as you do the weights. It just has to feel like you're doing something. As you're holding the weights, first thing first, let the weight to pull your arms down so you actually kind of know what you're working with. The more repetitions you're going to perform, obviously the more tired the muscle is going to be. And I would say for best results, do about 8-10 repetitions, stop, rest, and do 1 or 2 more sets of that, depending on how you feel that day. That's with lighter weight. If you're working with heavier weights, I would do less reps and less sets. If you're a very beginner, definitely pace yourself. Don't do too much. So let's begin. We're gonna pull the shoulders down. We're gonna adjust the ribs on top of your hips. We're gonna make sure that your posture is correct and not strained. And we're gonna turn your arms in a way that your palms facing forward. So we're gonna exhale. Bring your arms leveled with your waistline and bring them down in a controlled motion. So I would say the most important thing about working with weights is controlling the weights. Don't ever let the weight to do this to you. That's 2-pounder and I can handle it. So that's why I let it slide like that. This can be not a good situation if the weight is really heavy and your joints are pretty weak. So that can cause the damage to your body. Definitely assess how far you're going with the weight, and on the way down it's even more important than on the way up. I usually exhale when I lift And I think that makes more sense. But you guys try both ways, see how it feels. No matter what you do, it's exhale and away, inhale and away. So the full cycle of breath has to fill in the whole cycle of movement. And we're gonna call it a cycle of movement since it's going up and going down, right? So just notice that as I bend the elbow, the only part of my arm that's moving is really from the elbow to the fingers, and the wrist is not going by itself. The wrist has to be aligned with this bone, the forearm bone. So we're gonna just continue the same way, pulling the shoulders down, stabilizing the upper arm, and keeping the forearm in line with your wrist. So we do 8 of them. Let's say we did it. And let's proceed. So the next thing I would like you guys to do is the triceps, which is the muscle that stabilizes the bicep. They kind of work together, the family. It's the muscle on the back of the arm. And for that reason, let's do this one. So let's slightly bend the elbows. We're gonna bend the elbows towards the back of you. We're not gonna bring the shoulders up. We're gonna do just the opposite. Pull the shoulders down and bend the elbows just slightly, as far as flexibility of your body allows. So here again, a very important thing is the alignment. The upper arm is gonna stay the way it is. The forearm is gonna move back, going back, going back, going back. Again, controlling the weight. You controlling the weight, not the weight controlling you, is important. Keep pulling the shoulders down, and you're gonna start feeling the muscles working in your upper back. That is a good thing. Your legs should be about a hip width apart. Your knees can be a little bit bent just for the stability's sake. And we're gonna do again 8 of those. So let's say we did it. Again, one more time, you're gonna exhale and inhale, just like that. Exhale, inhale, X, in, X, in. And let's consider it to be done. So again, let the weight to do the stretch for you. By holding the weight in your arms relaxed, but fingers really gripping it, shoulders resting, you're gonna allow the muscles of the arms to be stretched by themselves like that. So since the tricep and the back of the arm in general is kind of a underworked part of the arm, I would say, most of the movements we do throughout the day is the forward ones, not backward ones. Let's do another one for the back of the arms. So this time we're gonna keep the arms relatively straight. And by relative, I mean the upper arm is gonna be pulled down, but the forearm doesn't have to be all the way straight and like in the elbow like I did right now, hyperextended we call it. It can be a little bit bent just for the safety of the body in general. And we're gonna keep the arm set like that with the forearm and the wrist aligned. And you guys gonna go exhale, bringing the whole arm back. How far? Not too far. Just as far as you need to feel the muscles of the back of the arm start working. If you're working with the heavier weights, you're gonna start feeling it sooner. But don't let it be a point for your workouts. Oh, I feel it, I feel it. Even if you don't feel the work sometimes, it's beneficial for you because you're still developing the endurance. So let's go for it. Exhale, breathe in. Exhale, breathe in. Again, I would do 8, rest up and do another 8. So as I'm bringing the arms back, I'm definitely making sure that my torso does not go forward. The stabilization of the torso is very important. And here one more time, just check on your knees and your feet. Make sure your feet are hip wide apart. Make sure you're standing in a very stable position. It's like if there's a strong wind whirling around you and you try to not to move. So let's go. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, and just one more, and we're done with that. So another part of the arm I would like you guys to work on today is the deltoid, like thing right here. And here we're gonna do pretty much the same thing. The movement is gonna be just slightly different. So the alignment, cannot stress it enough. The alignment is super duper important here. Again, shoulders down, ribs on top of the hips. Again, the lower back curve is curving. The tailbone is sticking out just because it does. And the abdominal region is supporting your spine. Once you got it all in check, you're safe to proceed. So the movement is gonna be, you're gonna go to the side. Exhale. Inhale. In. Now here, if you guys holding the weight that is a little too heavy for you, you will notice that tendency for you will be, as you lift the arm, to curl the wrist inwards like that. So your whole hand is curling on the inside. That is a no-no. You do want to have your wrist flat in line with your forearm. So there are two things you can do. First, try to find something lighter. And second, if you don't want to go with that, try not to lift the arm too high. So to the best of your ability, shoulders down, staying tall, feet separated, and here we go. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Again, I would do 8 of those. I would monitor my wrists, I would monitor my shoulders, and after 8, take a little breather, do another 8, no harm in that. Now, as you're performing this exercise, once you got the arms under control, what I like doing is, as I extend the arms to the sides, I try to pull my ribs and the muscles of my upper back down towards the hips. So that actually serves two purposes. First, it gives me a check on my shoulders. Second, it involves more of my upper back muscles into the workout, which is wonderful because the whole arm needs help from the stronger muscles, which are in our backs. So by lifting the weights and pushing your back down, you're making your life much easier. You're gonna last longer, and you're gonna turn the arm work into a total body workout. Less time, less stress, more practical goods coming out of it. So after you exhale, again, I exhale when I lift, I breathe in when I bring the weights back down, exhale, inhale. I think we're done, and it was a pretty good arm work, wasn't it? So the variations, in case you get just sick and tired of doing the same thing with both arms, you can certainly do alternating arms. So the bicep and the bicep. What I like doing is trying to keep the timing the same for all the ranges of motion I do. The timing I find is very important because the timing is going to dictate how far the arm is going, how far the weight is going, and how I can control it. Now the same thing goes here for the arm and the arm. You can do one at a time, or you can do one at a time several times, get it more tired. And this way also you can pay more attention to the wrist alignment, which all of us can do. And here, going to the back, you can do exactly the same thing as well. Back and back and back and back. And here goes the other one that we did with the elbows bent. I'm gonna go back. It kind of would imitate the movement of the elliptical machine. that some of you guys do in the gyms when you go. And now also you could do the icing on the cake, as I would call it. The range of motion here will be pretty large. So we're gonna start with elbows slightly bent, definitely your back engaged, your shoulders down. And we're gonna lift up the arms holding the weights probably at about 45-degree angle in relation to your body, not too high. So the arms are gonna be slightly bent. And you're gonna go breathing in, exhale. The range of motion here is circular. In a way it's easy, in a way it's not. So the easy part is just letting your arms go, right? The not easy part is to keep the torso in the position it's in, because when the arms go back, the tendency for us will be to let the torso go forward. You gotta keep the ribs on top of the hips, always. So here I do the same thing. I exhale. Right about here, I try to pull my shoulders down even more as the arms go back as far as they go. And as I breathe in, I try to get a little taller, pressing my feet down into the floor, bringing the weights right back to me. And here I go again. X and in. And so those things I would probably do about 6 times, 6 little circles, then rest up, do one more set, and I think you're pretty good with the upper body. Now, the lower body is a different kind of story, especially if you've been stuck inside for a while. The legs and the glute are not as strong as if you were walking around at least every day. So what I would do is, if you have a little step stool that I'm going to show you in a second, kind of thing like that. Right? Something of that nature. That would be a great thing to have, because you can just put it down on the floor, and if you need a little bit of a support, if you're not sure you can handle it, stand by the wall and put one hand on the wall. So again, one more time, what I find very important is the posture is going to make it or break it. Do try to check yourself out in the mirror before you start. Even if you don't have the mirror in a room, find a full-length mirror somewhere. Try to remember what it feels like to have your shoulders on top of your hips and have your muscles of the front of the body supporting the back. Once you find it, try to remember what it feels like, and you're all set. You will never forget. So let's try to do our steps. You're gonna step up, step down, up, down. Seems self-explanatory, right? But there are a couple of things I need you to do once you stepping up and stepping down. Let's not do it mindlessly. Let's do it mindfully. So as you step up, try to put the weight on your heel and around the ball of your foot as well. That would activate a lot of the upper leg, and that's what you guys need. As you're stepping up, try to take a second and press it down. Press it down. So that is another exercise you can do with those little step stools thingies. Hold on to the wall if it feels more safe for you. And we're gonna go exhale, 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 exhale. As you can see, I'm doing something else with my other foot. I'm pushing myself up with my toes, with the ball of my foot, kind of propel myself up. You don't have to do that manipulation if you don't want to. I just find it more fun to do. So right now I'm gonna try to do it without that fun part. So I'm gonna exhale and exhale and exhale. So this way the weight goes directly into my leg. As I'm stepping, I'm conscious of bringing my body directly over the leg. Not too far forward, definitely not too far back, but just over the leg. And if you feel adventurous, go quicker. X, 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 X. And here goes the other one. X, 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 X. So as you're stepping down on the step stool, two things I would like you to think about. First, the moment of stepping, transferring the weight, engage as many muscles of the leg as you can possibly think of. And I consider the glute, the butt muscle, is one of the leg guys. It is a very strong muscle. It's gonna make your hip feel better, and ultimately it's gonna take care of the knee. So that brings us to the knee. And the knee is a main concern because sometimes as you perform those movements, there's too much weight being put on the knee bone, and we don't want this to happen at all. So the way to deal with it is use the muscles, not the bones, to perform the movement. Yeah? As you step, the knee starts to straighten. So don't try to straighten it all the way. Exhale, step. Exhale, step. It doesn't have to be hyperextended like that. It has to feel comfortable. You have to feel the muscles holding you, not the bone going in a funny ways. And now, let's review which muscles we were really working by making those steps. As you step up, it's the glute, the thigh, the quad, the calf. Pretty much everything is covered. Now, let's stretch those. The calf. My back foot is on the floor in its entirety. Let me show you guys. Like that. I'm facing the wall. My front leg is bent. The quad. You can definitely hold on to something and bring your heel towards your butt. Here goes your quad. Excuse me. Now the glute. The glute will go like that. You can do it seated on a chair, or you can just lean against the wall like I'm doing in a very slappy kind of way. But if your balance is good, this feels nice. If you feel like you just want to really, really relax into that glute stretch, sit down on a chair, cross your ankle over the knee, and lean down. And it's gonna feel really good. So thank you so much for working out with me today. I'll see you soon. Bye.